And he ended up actually telling me that the reason why he found me interesting and wanted to pursue me is because he likes when a girl knows what she wants. And the fact that I slid into his DMs, he thought that was really cute, you know?
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to Three Girls, One Kitchen. I'm pretty sure I have pink eye from eating someone's ass, but welcome back. Today's episode is School of Flirt. And if you're good at flirting like me, you might be able to eat someone's ass and get pink eye. Yeah, just my luck. So I hooked up with my first person after my breakup and got pink eye.
You didn't for sure get
Yeah.
Dude, my eyes are burning right now. I woke up and they were crusted over and it's swollen.
Yeah, it's
up
allergy
here.
season. You
I don't have allergies.
You
Okay.
wear contacts.
I literally was just crying from laughing.
What were
So-
you thinking about?
No, I have like laugh attacks. Sometimes like out of nowhere, I just laugh for no reason.
yeah.
Dude, sometimes I've cried and laughed at the same time. And then I have to like hide because it doesn't stop. And then people are looking at me like, what's going on?
That's what my laugh attacks are. Like I don't know. Like sometimes it'll be 10 full minutes and I cannot stop.
Are you
in full
serious?
tears. Yeah.
What
Like
do you
Troy
think
used to yell at
causes
me
that?
all the time.
Dude, one time I saw a puppy that I really wanted at the pet store. I just wanted to hold it. And my boyfriend was like, no, you can't hold it. And so I started crying. And then I started laughing hysterically and then crying.
Oh my god, that sounds really
And
scary.
I had to, it
like,
was.
guys, it's been fun.
And I had to hide. I had to hide behind like this fish food until it stopped.
You just like behind a thing. Like, yeah, I like sometimes will just not. I can't even breathe sometimes. Anyway.
This is such an interesting start to today's episode.
Yeah, you started in the middle of my laugh attack.
Yeah, maybe we would like bleep some of those things out.
No, I
mean, I think it's
I love that
a
for
little
us,
spice.
mixing it up. You know, sometimes you get the professional girls. Sometimes you get the girls who have pink eye because they just ate a booty hole. Okay, so School of Flirt. How to flirt and keep the momentum going when you're interested in someone or even just want to hook up with them.
And we'll definitely cover like the do's and don'ts too, because there's definitely always don'ts too when it comes to flirting as well.
Yeah.
Oh, facts.
I'm kind of oblivious on how I flirt, but I did win Biggest Flirt in high school. That was one of my awards.
Wow, I'm not shocked at all.
In my mind, I don't know when I'm flirting or anything like that. So maybe we can go over the differences of like just being a nice person and flirting as well, because people will take my niceness as me wanting to date them.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember sometimes I've hung out with you with other guys and you do say things that are very flirtatious even though you're not.
I do that with girls too. That's like
Oh
another
yeah,
thing.
that's probably how we ended up like making out the first time we hung out.
Listen, I told her, I was like, because she said, I touch everyone. And I was like, you don't touch me anymore like you used to. And she was like, yeah, because you weren't putting out.
You're old news. In this episode, it's actually funny because we're going to talk about love bombing in this episode, which is a type of flirtation that usually men use to get girls in bed. But I specifically remember I sort of did that to you one time that we were drunk when we first met
in Miami?
Yeah, I was like, I love you. I'm gonna buy you a ring tomorrow. Move in with me. You can pick out all the furniture for our house.
You did
And
do
then
that.
the next day, I was like, "Oh shit! Does she actually expect me to do that?"
I think you talked to me about that. You were like, I don't know if Alexa was like serious about that. Like, I think
I was
she
like-
actually thinks we're gonna be like dating. And
I was like, what do I do?
I was like, oh my
at
god,
the
my
time-
niceness went too far.
At the time, I really meant it. Like, I really thought that I wanted you to be my girlfriend and move in with me, and we would buy furniture together. But then the next day, I was like, no, we're just friends.
You're like, fuck her.
No, not like
No,
that.
I do remember that. We were at dinner in Miami. We are like, we'd be such a hot couple. We'd be so
people
cute.
actually thought that we were about to
telling
get married.
everyone,
Like,
yeah.
they messaged you the next day and were like, congrats on your
Yeah.
engagement.
Yeah.
people were like actually coming up to me and asking like, hey, so like, is this like a thing all the time? And I was like, yeah.
I think what made them think that was the fact that our tongues were down each other's throats for about 2 hours. So maybe that's why it was believable.
I was going like this. I was like, stop it.
I have a video.
Stop
I have a video from that trip.
Yeah, we
That's
should actually like clip it in here. For everyone to see.
That's gonna be an extra charge for that one.
Yeah, you can see it on the OnlyFans.
Guys, so
I promise it's not on my OnlyFans.
I was like, where's my cut?
Oh god.
so first things first, we should go ahead and get started. So sliding into the DMs, who should do it or who should start it?
okay,
guys or girls?
So I've previously mentioned that I will never slide into a guy's DM. However, recently I have.
Things
and it's
change.
actually turned out pretty well. The guys have been I always thought that the guy had to be the one pursuing you first, but I've actually had a really great response from sliding into guys' DMs. Like, they want to hang out, they follow up with me. They probably end up wanting to hang out and talk to me more than I want to talk to them.
I mean, I have always said it doesn't have to be one specific person's job. Say I see someone on Instagram and I think he's cute and like I, stalk his page. He seems like a nice person I would like. Obviously, like the odds of him randomly stumbling across me and DMing me are probably really slim.
Mm-hmm.
So might as well shoot your shot because otherwise you're just left thinking like, what if?
Yeah, I would say if it's someone that you really want to talk to on Instagram, or maybe you're just, shooting your shot with a bunch of people and you're a girl, go ahead and do it. So you can make that initial contact, but then after that, let them pursue to see what their interest level in you is.
Yeah. Like maybe have a basic casual conversation, but if you reach out first, don't be the first one to say like, when are you free to hang out?
Yeah. And I personally do believe that the man should be the one leading the relationship and showing you the interest at the beginning, because that's just his masculine energy, and men naturally have the desire to chase and to not conquer. What's the other word?
Well, I was just gonna say they're natural hunters. So,
Yeah.
I definitely believe in the whole, like, it shouldn't matter who slides into whose DMs, but, like, as a statistic and just like studies, that a man isn't going to be as interested in a girl if she pursues him first, because it wasn't a chase for him to grab her. Like, it wasn't his prize that he discovered her, and he's pursuing. So naturally he is going to be like not as excited, but who's to say that you guys don't end up, hitting it off and having great chemistry. And some guys I've actually, a while back I had a guy that I had slid into his DMs, you guys know, and he ended up actually telling me that the reason why he found me interesting and wanted to pursue me is because he likes when a girl knows what she wants. And the fact that I slid into his DMs, he thought that was really cute,
Yeah.
But like I said, other times guys will be, they won't be as excited about a hot girl sliding into their DMs because they didn't discover you, or like they didn't find you,
I mean, like everything in life, everyone is different. It just depends on the guy or the person. I would say shoot your shot, because what's the worst that can happen? They just don't respond. Okay,
Yeah. And I feel what's so great right now is that Alexa has a different perspective than I know how me and Olivia think of things. We're always like, no, the guy has to hit us up first. The guy has to do this and that. Today I was asking Alexa for advice on something and she was like, no, why not? Like, follow up. Like, maybe he doesn't think that you're interested. Like, she tends to have a more nonchalant, realistic point of view than me and Olivia when it comes to these things.
Yeah, because in their eyes, if you're being, kind of standoffish or waiting for them to make a move, you might be interested, but they're going to be thinking, okay, like, I don't think she's interested. So put yourself in their shoes, and try to think of how you would want it to be approached.
Yeah.
That's how I would go about it.
It's great. I love your mind when it comes to dating. You give me
wish
like
I
the
thought it was
guy's
something.
perspective. You have that mindset. Say you already get in his or her DM and the conversation's flowing, it's going great. Who should ask the person out first? I think the guy.
Yeah, I'm old school. I'll definitely say I think the guy.
I mean, if it's a date for sure, I'm not gonna tell a guy.
Take me on a date.
Yeah, I sent his DMs and I asked him about this point. I might as well wear the fucking pants in this
mean,
relationship, sweetie.
I mean, that's pretty confident of you.
Yeah, I'd be really scared
He'd be
because
very intimidated by you, and he wouldn't see you as a feminine woman. He would think like he's lost his masculinity.
But
Or is
then masculinity.
masculinity, yeah. Like he doesn't.
But the only thing about that is if you ask him on the date, does that mean you're paying? Because if you're like, hey, so and so, would you like to go with me?
If he's a good guy, I think he'll offer to pay regardless.
Really? I mean, I don't know. I didn't know how the rules are.
God, it's so tricky because there's so many variables in these situations. I would say just always be confident and tell the guy what you want and just be upfront. And if you want him to pay for it, be like, yo, you're paying for it.
Or, I mean, I always offer to, well, not always, I don't date that often, but I've offered to like split and always they say no. You just offer or like act like you're reaching, just
Act like you're reaching.
But at least
Girl.
offer, you know, I even
Yeah.
did that with my ex. Like, we would take turns, or I would offer to split, and he'd obviously say no. But it's just a kind
My
gesture.
ex never said no.
Oh, I'm talking about Troy, but yeah.
I'm talking about Mike. He was like, so are we going to split this vacation or what?
Oh my God, it's so funny. Yeah. I'm like, in the beginning, I think that's a little off.
Oh,
Yeah.
he paid in the beginning, but so there's definitely a different dynamic for me because you can Google my net worth and it says $20 million, which isn't what I have. I am paid very well, but I always have made more money than the guy. So it's like weird if I don't split on expensive things, I guess, because I want to go to Michelin star restaurants and I want to go to 5-star hotels. And so I can't expect for them to be up to my lifestyle and be able to afford that as well, I guess. So that's sort of why I've sort of been forced into paying for half of things.
Yeah. I mean, so I guess in your situation, whoever asks you on the date or whoever asks him on the date, maybe try to pick a place that's affordable for most, unless he suggests going to a really nice restaurant, then obviously he's gonna pay. Like my roommate, he goes out with girls to eat sometimes, and if it's a basic restaurant, like he's not gonna pay. But if he asks a girl to go eat with him at Nobu, like he obviously is gonna be covering that cost.
Yeah. And that one time whenever you recommended me the nice restaurant for me and you know who to go
Oh,
out,
you complained it.
he fucking just kept bitching the entire night about the dinner and how expensive it was. I just kept making jokes, even though he makes millions.
He didn't even get the Wagyu or anything, huh?
He's like, this side salad's super hefty.
No, I don't think he was like being stingy when it came to like ordering, but he kept like bitching. And like even whenever we came back to his house, his guy friends were there, like a bunch of guys, and he basically made it known to them. He was like, oh my God, like this dinner was like $200, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like,
that would turn
I don't
me
even
off.
care if I have $300 in my fucking bank account. I would never complain when I just took someone that I value, that I see like as a prize. I would never complain to them how much I just spent on a dinner for them. Because sweetie, I'm sorry, clearly you can't afford me mentally, physically, like intellectually.
Ooh,
because
quoting
if you're
Mia.
gonna fucking complain that you took me on a $200 dinner when you make millions publicly to everyone else, like that's so rude to me.
Or at least wait until you're not around and then complain.
Yeah, at least wait. Yeah, wait
text
till
your
I
friends.
fucking leave.
Text
the
your
house.
friends and be like, this bitch just spent all my money on her dinner.
And like I didn't. That's the thing. But it's just like I would. It's not even about the
That's
money. It's like I wouldn't
whack.
even complain about that if I had $300 in my bank account.
Yeah.
Like that's just like a respect thing for me.
Let's talk about where should you take them? What should you suggest? So for me, I like things where we can interact a lot. I personally feel like it's a really bad idea to invite someone on one of the first 3 dates, like watching a movie or doing something that's low contact, because you're not going to get like that connection. You're not really going to have that time talking or touching each other. Obviously not touching them too much before the 3rd date, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree, because going to the movies, you're just sitting there awkwardly in silence. Unless it's someone you're really
worst
close
date.
with already. You're just sitting there like...
I've had a lot of guys or experiences where they have told me like, I would say like, oh, I want to go watch a movie. And they've actually said like, hey, like I would prefer for us to go on a dinner or do this or that, because like you guys said, you're not getting to know that person. And it's just like super awkward. So doing like a movie night on the first date is definitely like a big no-no.
Yeah. No, I had a guy, it was one of the guys that was really introverted, and I'm also really introverted, and he invited me over and he had dinner for me. But he was like, do you want to go watch a movie? And so we put on Rick and Morty, and we didn't talk to each other the whole night.
Yeah.
It was really awkward. We were just laying, like, sort of cuddling side by side. He didn't say a word to me the whole night. Eventually, I was like, so do you want to go to bed now? Still doesn't talk to me. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't know if I should talk to him either or what. And then we just go up to his bed and cuddle. Doesn't say a word to me.
Oh my, well, because of like COVID,
So awkward.
a lot of places are closed. So a lot of people have mainly the only option is to watch a movie at home or do whatever at home. Like, so the relationship I like just recently had, the whole beginning was us, because we couldn't go out to dinners at this point, like nothing was open, was us having to literally sit on the couch and watch a movie and like talk that way and get to know each other that way. But I didn't even watch the movie because I talked the whole time.
Yeah, and so for me, if you're introverted and someone invites you to watch a movie, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to interrupt the movie or not. Like, I think about those types of things. Also, my ex used to yell at me for interrupting movies. So I don't think movie or media, unless it's like a short like jazz show or something, you're going to like an event, is a good idea for a first date at all, because it can turn drastically awkward. And also maybe me and this person just had horrible chemistry.
There's been studies done that doing adrenaline rushing experiences on first dates are more likely to end up in second and third dates, because
No, I read that
if you
before
actually
as well.
experience adrenaline rush with another person, you're both involved in like a very like unique experience, you're more likely to become more compatible and go on many more dates. So yeah. So I would recommend doing something fun, since this is kind of like flirting school and we're like telling the audience like what they should do, what they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Definitely try to make a very creative idea when it comes to asking the person out on a date, like doing something out of the ordinary, something fun that you both have never experienced. And also that's going to get the other person's interest, you know, especially like after, you know, being in the scene for a while, constantly people asking for dinner. Like, to me, it just gets boring sometimes. But I'm not gonna lie, if I have a guy that says like, hey, like, would you want to go skydiving, or like, would you want to go get facials? Like, that would throw me off guard, and I'd be like, I like that. That's kind of cool. Like, you know, I've never done that before with someone.
But if
so.
I had a
You're not
great-
with them.
Well, like, if you go experience it, you're gonna be with them.
I had a guy who offered me a great date a couple weeks ago. I ended up not going just because my breakup with my ex was so recent and I wasn't ready to be emotionally available and go on a date. He rented a whole go-kart rink for our first date. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
see,
I
that's
think
fun.
that's so fun. And like we were talking about like, oh, I'm going to run you off the track. Just, you know, like flirty banter back and forth.
Yeah.
And that's also a good type of flirting, is just like messing with each other.
Yeah, and it's you have something to also talk about, because if you do that experience, if you go skydiving, that's also going to be a great way for you guys to stay in touch and keep communicating, because you're going to keep wanting to talk about like your experience skydiving or go-kart racing.
Yeah, or like you could do smash rooms, like things that are like
Oh, that would
adrenaline
be
rushing,
fun.
like fun, exciting. I personally am just now being okay with going to dinner with guys. You know how I used to be. So like baby steps for me, but maybe one day I'll be able to do this.
I just remembered a nightmare place to take a date if you have fake teeth.
What?
Yes. Okay. If you have veneers or dental implants. Okay. So this one guy took me on a date years ago to an escape room, and
Wait,
a lot
I
of
haven't
them,
heard of this.
a lot of them have an escape room. So it's
like the thing, the black light. It shines your teeth.
yeah.
Wait, what?
So in a lot of the escape rooms, because they're dark, they're supposed to be scary. There's black lights, and I remember looking at him, and his teeth were all different colors because some were fake. So if you have fake teeth, do not go to an escape room or laser tag.
No laser tag.
Oh no.
Or if you do, just do like this
It really turned me off.
the whole time.
Oh my god.
And I asked him too, I was like, do you have fake teeth? And he denied it. But it was very obvious.
Yeah.
One was like,
why are your
blue,
teeth
one's
glowing?
green. Like, what? I was like, no, your teeth are clearly different colors. And he just kept denying it.
Oh, he probably felt awkward. I feel like you probably shouldn't have asked him
I'm like,
that.
I have one fake tooth as well. So I was trying to relate with him.
Oh no,
like,
he's probably
You're
so
like,
embarrassed.
"Sweetie, look.
anyways, no blue lights if you have fake teeth.
So I do want to kind of like discuss some things that would help people out like flirt wise if they are like on a date. Like I would really want us to cover that.
Yeah.
So I had actually done some research.
Oh god.
So like some important things, obviously I think everyone's very well aware of the eye contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not too long.
Oh, we talked about this the other day.
Yeah.
I'm a huge eye contact person.
But-
I will stare at you.
Guys, no, but you'd be so surprised that, you know, even for me growing up, like these things are common sense to me now. Over time though, they weren't. And a lot of people actually are not aware that eye contact is so important. And I know it sounds so common, but people don't actually do it. And they don't keep that in mind, that they'll constantly like look away or like look around. But if you keep constant eye contact with someone,
Yeah.
it's a very like attractive thing. It's a turn on for the other person.
But obviously look away sometimes because it's kind of scary if you're
45 seconds apparently is a lot.
that scares me a little. I get nervous and intimidated.
Did I do that to you when we first were like talking?
Oh, we were talking.
Well, like when we, you know what I mean?
We were
'Cause
staring
I make
into
a
each
lot
other's
of
eyes.
eye contact.
Yeah. Well, I do, but I naturally do this with everyone. But a lot of people, like when they're flirting, they giggle, they laugh a lot.
Yeah.
That's like another
like
thing.
humor, laughing,
yeah, just
smiling.
like they say something that's not even funny, but you still think it's like cute and funny. they will take your like giggling and laughing as flirting 100%.
Yeah, it's because it means that you're more engaged in their conversation. You're very much into them. But yeah, I was just gonna throw out like,
don't be too giddy though.
well, of course, like don't sound ditzy, but definitely if you're a funny person like me, like I love to crack my jokes. So humor is like a good thing, and also just like it's been shown that if you show humor, that it's a great way for them to also see that you're a quick thinker, and that it also means that you're very creative. So humor,
wit shows that you're a quick thinker, you're intellectual.
Yeah, 55% of actual attraction between people are body language. So body language is so big. Something that I've learned throughout the years, mirroring. It's a term. So it's when you mirror the other person whenever you're sitting with them on a date, the way that they're posing or sitting. If you mirror that person, it also makes them more like attractive to you because it feels like you're engaging into their conversation. So that's another thing that I learned throughout the years is a lot of times if you're sitting next to someone, if you notice they're very like closed in.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't be like this.
Yeah, it's very like you show disinterest in that person and like you're cold towards them, but when you're facing them, like your body's more open. It means you're more engaging into the conversation, which makes
if you're like you're leaned in towards them, you're like touching on them.
So anyway,
sorry, I don't want to make
what
you jealous.
are some ways to make a first date go smoother? So speaking of research, I think you should sort of like check out the person's social media. Why would you not go into your date super prepared, knowing what their favorite music is, knowing what type of food they like, knowing what they do for a living, so you can ask them questions about it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going to be asking them super basic questions like, so what do you do for a job? How was your weekend?
Yeah,
what's
don't.
your
Those
favorite
are like don'ts.
food?
And he's gonna
do
be like,
that.
it's all over my Instagram.
Like, I'm
how
sorry, that's like that's like middle school talk. I personally hate small talk, so I don't want to be asking people those types of questions. So yeah, I want to see what you're into, your interests. I want to see what you do for work, if there's anything interesting, and I'm going to ask you about it, and I'll tell you, yeah, I looked at your Twitter.
I saw
your last media.
No, I mean, I obviously, if I see someone I'm interested in, I will look at their social media and see if they're the type of person that I would want to pursue, because otherwise it's a waste of time if you have never met them
social
before.
media can be so misleading when especially in our space.
Yeah. I mean, I get
That's
it.
why there's a positive negative in doing that because you don't want to like dive too deep into them, like Googling them and researching them, because
I think
then you're going to find negative things.
Google them. No, I wouldn't Google them because that shit can be really personal.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
even stalking their
shit and all of that. But look at the stuff that they posted about themselves on their Twitter, their Instagram.
But most of the people that are like listening and watching, it's like they're not going after the same, you know what I mean? So it's like they can't Google these people, and their social media is going to be the guy fishing from 2 years ago.
Their person probably has Facebook, so obviously there's not going to be as much to look at. But say like they're an HVAC worker, you could ask them stuff about that. I personally was interested in HVAC worker before, and there were so many interesting things to ask him about his job.
So I mean, it necessarily isn't about like how she brought, which is a good point. Like some people aren't into social media, some people aren't going to be Googleable. So it's not even about doing your research on them. It's just coming up with creative ways and preparing yourself for a day to like know, oh, like I should ask them about this, or like what are their hobbies, what are their interests.
That's just a step that they can take if
of
possible
course.
to come up with more interesting conversations.
Because then in the middle of the date, you can be like, oh my God, yeah, so you love working out and going on these hikes, like so do I. You know, it could be like a thing that you guys talk about and you go in depth, and maybe you both have a favorite type of
like
tree.
What's your favorite hiking trail?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I did that one with the waterfall too.
Yeah, and then, oh my God, let's go together. We should do that together sometime.
Yeah, let's go together.
Yeah, slide that in there.
Anything else to make like an awkward first date easier, or like get rid of some of those spaces in between conversations?
I would recommend, because I'm bad at this too, is try to be yourself and don't have things in your head and too scared to say them. Say things, get to know someone, because if you don't, it really can ruin a connection that you could have because you're not speaking and getting to know each other. So just try your hardest to speak and get to know them and say whatever.
And I was gonna say, don't be monotone. I was gonna say, I'm just throwing out my research facts, but so people
but if
are
you're
actually
monotone, how do you stop yourself from being monotone?
Also, wait, we should get a counter at the top for every time she says research.
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 Yeah, you guys are roasting me for researching people that I'm gonna go on a date with.
Oh, no.
So no, something that's actually been proven that it's more attractive is for men specifically and women is a varying pitch and tone. So they found women less attractive when they spoke very like monotone. So now you were saying like, how do you get out of that? Sometimes speaking monotone means that you're actually just really nervous. So that's a step that they can actually just work on, is not being nervous. A lot of people will speak in monotone because they're nervous.
Really?
And they don't like the way that their voice sounds. They're too scared to make noises, you know. For me, like, I'm goofy, so I'll make my little screeches and like, no, like, ree, ree, ree. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Honestly,
I don't care.
I would only be turned off by a girl if they talked like, so my name's Becky and I really like hikes and my favorite color is pink. Like, that's what would annoy me.
First
Yeah,
off,
ladies,
like
me.
really? Like?
So when I say varying tones, just please don't do that. Don't start speaking
yeah,
like that.
just try to relax
means,
and be like how you would with your friends. Talk how you would with your
Yeah,
friends.
like,
Don't be like, oh my
changing-
God, I'm on a date
I'm
right
on
now.
a
I'm
date."
very scared of this man.
Yeah.
Be like, oh my, yeah, hello, how are you? You look
It's
lovely
basically
today.
it's basically just saying, don't be afraid to, like, you know, whenever you talk to someone, when you're saying something serious, you sound more serious. When you're saying something funny, your tone of voice raises. It's
show
more
excitement.
So show excitement. That's like the tone, or that's the variety in a tone, and that's what they're saying is more attractive, because it makes you more open, and like, you know, like, it just makes you sound more outgoing as an extrovert. So
Sometimes if you're in your own head, like in that situation where I was describing that I went over to someone's house and we watched Rick and Morty and neither of us talked, if I could go back in time, I would have got out of my own head and forced a conversation, told myself, okay, he has me over because he wants to get to know me. He wants to talk to me. He didn't put on the movie so that we wouldn't talk.
Done that before as well. So
Yeah, and so I wish
Yeah,
I would
it's
have got out
awkward.
of my head in that situation and forced a conversation, because it's not like he was trying to hook up with me or anything. Like, it wasn't that type of situation, and we both were extremely awkward.
Yeah.
Also, another thing completely separate from that. So everyone that you go out with is going to be looking for something different. For me, when I'm going out and meeting someone new, it's really important the types of conversations that we'll have. I want to have an intellectual conversation. If you have a great vocabulary, that really impresses me. Like, if it's a word that I don't know and I have to ask you what that word is, like, that's so sexy to me.
I've secretly Googled because I don't want them to think I'm dumb. People naturally just think I'm dumb anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm never going to be like, hey, so what's that mean?
No.
I will secretly Google it in the bathroom and then know.
Really, if you teach me something and I learn something new from you, whether it's a word or something about business or anything, like, that turns me on
hot.
so
Oh,
much.
and well, it's hot for them too, because they feel like, wow, like, I can give knowledge to this person. Like, it's a turn on for them. So don't be like,
that's what
afraid.
I'm looking for, is someone that I can learn from and
Now, if
grow
it's like
from.
common words, you know,
Oh my god, it's like,
What does
so-
the word book mean? I'm so confused.
it's like, what?
Jesus.
But no, it is attractive I think it's something I want to do as well, is not someone teach me, but I want to teach them and help them grow. But I also want someone to do the same for me.
Yeah.
So I'm always down to learn new words, and it's definitely super attractive when someone teaches you things.
Yeah, and I don't think that it's unattractive to them if you ask for help with a word that they said or a term that they used, because I actually love correcting guys when they say something wrong or they don't use the right word for something. I'll be like, they're like, oh, I watched this documentary the other day, this one. And I was like, that's actually a biopic, not a documentary. And I love correcting them. And then I would love to be corrected too. Like, I just think it's so hot.
I mean, it depends. If it's like a first date, I personally, sometimes people take it the wrong way and they're just like, okay, like, she's clearly a smart ass. I personally get really annoyed when people
Like,
correct me when they
damn
don't really
right,
know me that
I am
well.
a smart ass.
Yeah, but it could be a turn off for a lot of people. Like, I think it takes to like a certain point of comfort where you can correct them. Sometimes, like, you should just like let it slide, you know, but like eventually if you have multiple dates, like you guys are really talking, then yeah, like there's like cute ways to be like, you know, oh, like, by the way, like, this is what it is, not that, like, you know, but
Well, it probably depends on the
Personally-
person. If there's someone who loves to learn,
yeah,
then
but
they're
you don't
going
know
to
that. That's what I'm
enjoy.
saying. So I would not recommend doing that on the first date,
Then they're
especially when you
not the
don't
right
know that
person for
person.
you.
Yeah, then for you not.
Yeah.
But, you know, I personally just feel like it's not, you shouldn't do that to people because they might find that like rude and they might feel like, you know, like, oh, who is she to say? And then they just might get like a little snarky. So I personally would recommend that. You know, that's obviously like people's different opinions, but
I'm too shy to barely speak as it is.
yeah, you're like,
whatever. Slow your roll, people.
slow your roll. So as you all already know that I'm a huge cooking fanatic and I love truff and I've been super big into that. And there's actually different flavors that truff does have, the black, the white, and then the spicier version of all of them.
Yeah, the spicy one, super spicy, but it's so good. I've been adding truff Honestly, I've been throwing it on when I make my homemade pizza and then mixing it with pasta after your recipe, and I crave it. I actually even put it on my eggs one morning.
Isn't it so good?
So good. Yeah, you can throw it in everywhere.
So do you guys actually know that it's Oprah's favorite sauce?
No way.
Yeah. And it's #1 on Amazon, which is also crazy, but doesn't surprise me because I'm telling you guys, I'm so passionate about Truff. I tell everyone, I was having a conversation with this guy the other night, and he said that he puts ranch and hot sauce on his pizza. And I told him about the Truff sauce, and he was like, wait, what? I was like, you've never heard of the Truff sauce? Yeah, so I told him about that, so he's going to try it now.
You're like, yeah, so he's on it.
I'm not going to lie. The pasta that you made for the last episode with the truff sauce on it was phenomenal. And the truff really came through and you could taste it. It was so good.
Oh my God, you guys are making me really hungry.
I know,
That's all I want right now. I'm like, can we make some truff pasta,
It's so
please?
good. Yeah, you can really put that on anything. Like, you can really incorporate Truff into any recipe that you use on tacos, eggs, pasta,
Burgers.
pizza, burger.
I haven't tried that, but I'm gonna.
Yeah.
You can get 15% off site-wide and free shipping with promo code 3G1K at truff.com/3G1K. That's 15% off plus free shipping on everything. Visit TRUFF as in fantastic.com/3G1K and don't forget to use our code 3G1K for 15% off.
As you guys know, we partnered with Stereo and we go on the Stereo app 3 times a week. It's a live app where you guys can come in, talk to us, listen, and we can hear your questions right there on the spot. And we usually answer as many as we can. We try to get through them all.
Oh my gosh, it's so fun going live with all of you. I love it feels like a more personal interaction because I can actually hear your voice when you have a question or you want to say something back to me, and then we respond right there on the live.
Yeah. And also, guys, so the app actually has thousands of live conversations. So we want you guys to tune into us. But there's other beneficial things that people talk about on there. So I think that's really great to hear others. And you can also, voice your opinions on there or ask questions. So it is an after party, and it's only exclusive on the Stereo app. So if you guys want to come talk to us and chat, unfiltered, uncensored on there, then make sure to download the app and follow 3G1K.
The link is in the description. Make sure that you download the Stereo app and then follow us, 3G1K.
What are some things you guys would do when it comes to like flirting when you already have a person that you've been like talking to? Like, or what are some hints you could throw? Like, what are some things you guys would do to like show that you're flirting with someone?
Well, if we already have them, or what do you mean? So
or
we're
like,
dating?
have you already hooked out?
Well, no, not necessarily. Like, I'm sure people want to know, like, how can I show someone that I'm flirting, or like how to be more flirty with someone?
I mean, I say like touchy, or invite them on a date or a one-on-one personal hangout, on a trip, something like that. That's like bold and making a move. Definitely. I know this is kind of lame, but even commenting on someone's Instagram photo, like that's flirting. Yeah. Even if it's an emoji, I don't really care. Like that's like a subtle like flirt. And as a girl, if it's a guy we're into, we love that.
We do. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we love to see that.
That those little hard eyes.
But yeah, I think you can just do like little subtle things, like be a little bit touchier, but not in a creepy way, obviously. Yeah. And ask them to do one-on-one intimate hangouts.
Quit hitting on my girlfriend, Olivia.
She's my girlfriend. She's mine first.
You missed your chance about 6 years ago.
T, honestly, I can't get that.
On this episode of 3 Girls, 1 Kitchen, who do I end up with?
Oh my God. We should do a dating show. Who wins Alexa?
Oh my God, I would love to.
Finally.
Who would you pick if you were a lesbian?
I don't know.
Tell us. Tell us.
I plead the fifth.
Who would you pick?
I plead the fifth. I don't know. I need to test out the drives. I need to test drive you.
What are we, laptops? You need to test out our computer drives?
Like, which drive are we talking about, baby?
Oh my God. I need to test you guys out and see.
Oh. All right. So we already went over so much.
Oh, I was going to say, that's notes for them. That was actual flirting. Did you guys see that flirting?
Oh,
that was
right.
real life flirting.
Guys, me and Alexa aren't actually into each other. We're just giving you examples of flirting this entire episode.
I've seen it. I've witnessed it. I had to separate them.
Imagine if I'm love bombing you again.
Like,
So let's talk about love bombing. A lot of guys will confuse that with flirting. Like they will promise a girl the world, like we're gonna do this and that, and I love you, and just
ask
like
you to be their girlfriend on the second date.
ask you to be their girlfriend on the first or second date, and then they sleep with you, and then it's like,
or they're like, you're my wifey.
No.
Like
I would even take that out of the picture, like the sleeping part. Like guys will still do
this
that
without
even sleeping with you.
Yeah.
That's what's mind blowing. Is like you've had that experience, but I have an experience where a guy love bombed me and he didn't sleep with me, and it's just
well, he just fucked off.
Yeah.
I've actually
probably
had
because you wouldn't sleep with him.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I've had a few guys that'll promise me the world. You know how many times I've had the world promised to me? Like a million. And I obviously I didn't sleep with all of them. But it's like in their brain, they'll meet you and they think that you want them to say, you're the perfect girl for me.
No,
I want you to be my wife. Like,
I
honest.
want you to be honest.
Yeah.
So that's the problem with it. Why do you have to lie to a girl or make them feel like you want to do more than you actually want?
Yeah.
I think
a girl is not going to appreciate that. She's going to be mad at you after the fact. And I pretty much say this in every episode. If you're honest from the beginning, no girl is going to be mad at you because they knew what it was from the jump.
But if you start out saying, we're going to go on this trip, like I want you to live with me,
we're going to
get
married,
this together, I want you to be my wife. And then 2 weeks later, like, I'm not ready for a relationship. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you guys wonder like why we're fucking crazy. It's like, don't put those thoughts into girls' heads. Like, that's not okay. It's not, like it's
even in a subtle
if I'm
way.
going to sleep with you, it was probably not for that reason. You just put thoughts in my head for no reason.
Yeah.
Even in like a more subtle way though, they could be on a first or second date and they invite you, oh, I'm going on a trip next weekend or in 2 weeks and I would love for you to come. Like as a girl, that's like a very big step and we are going to be preparing for that trip in our head for the next week or the next 2 weeks. And if you never follow up or you make like any kind of plans, you just don't follow up and you ghost us, like that's gonna really upset us.
Yeah.
So just don't.
And it's gonna make you resentful.
Yeah. Like don't make plans and canceled. Like don't say things in the moment because you think that's what we want to hear. What we want to hear is the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to hear your honest intentions. We don't want to hear that you think that we're so beautiful if you don't really. We don't want to hear that you want to see us next week if you don't want to.
Yeah. No, I mean,
just
I'm
be
not
honest.
I mean, and I was going to say,
sure,
like,
you might get to fuck her because you said those things.
But then she might slash your tires.
Yeah, or, I mean, we're not going to slash anyone's tires.
I wouldn't.
Or you're just never going to be able to fuck her again because, like Olivia said, she'll be resentful.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel like, the guy that did that with me, I personally would have never cared if we just kind of like dispersed, which is kind of what happened. Like, we kind of essentially both like ghosted.
This? Oh, okay.
So we both essentially like ghosted each other, but he love bombed me a lot and it kind of got my head. So it actually made me more resentful towards him because like, even though great, like I don't care if to me, our date was amazing. Like the couple days that we had, everything felt fine. But like, maybe he's seeing someone else. Maybe he's not emotionally ready. Maybe he realizes I want a relationship and he doesn't right now.
Yeah.
That is perfectly okay, guys and ladies. Like, that's perfectly fine. But don't love bomb someone and tell them like, oh, like I want you to be my girlfriend. I'm wanting to get to know you more because I really want to see something with us together, like in the future. Like, don't put those things in a girl's or a guy's head because they're going to be eventually resentful. So the next time I do see him, I'm not going to fucking have a smile on my face and say, hi, how are you? Like, absolutely not. I'm literally going to be like, don't fucking even look at me.
How are we going to treat him? Because, I'm going to treat him how you want me to treat him.
I'm like,
just let me know.
Literally the opposite. Like, I'll obviously be mad at that person and let it go. But
are we going to mean like him?
I'm the type that way. I just think, why waste you? That's more energy that you're wasting. So, like, if you see them, hi, how are you? Peace out. That's it. Don't sit there and mingle and spend your time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would do that. But I think in their eyes, they think that we can be best friends again. And, like, just, like what am I looking for? Like how am I trying to say this? They'll think that they can pick up right where we
left off.
Yeah. And it's like it's not going to be because you made me resentful. Like you.
Well, it's because the whole connection didn't mean as much to them, so they're not thinking about it the way that we are. So for them, it really is. Oh, I could just pick up things where I left off because they haven't been thinking about it. It hasn't been brewing in their mind like it has in ours. But no, it's never right to lie to someone to get them to sleep with you or for whatever ulterior motive,
for your own
just for fun.
Yeah,
for your own ego.
Yeah, it's definitely okay. And I had recently like spoken to a guy and he had told me that he's such an honest person and I really respected that. Like he basically said, a lot of my guy friends think I'm a dick and they think that I'm mean or because I haven't really found a person in the last couple of years. And he said, look, I'm just a very transparent person. And like, if I like you, I like you. If I don't, I'm going to let you know. Like, I'm not going to like lead you on. Like, I'm not going to make you think of something that's going to happen that's not going to. I'm not going to love bomb you.
What if that's a lie though?
Oh God, don't get into my head like that.
It's all a lie.
Like,
Everything that they say is a lie.
Like, that's why I talk to no men, and I decided I am not having sex until I'm married.
That's the conclusion of this episode. Everything that they say is a lie.
Playing hard to get is another thing that people obviously don't do, or like they do too much, but you know, they have said that playing hard to get, like people are more likely attracted to someone when they're unsure whether the other person likes them. But obviously, like Alexa has said this many times, don't play hard to get if the feelings are mutual and you guys both know you like each other. But obviously, definitely keep a little mystery. Like, you don't want to be like overbearing and like aggressive.
Can we talk about this? So I hate texting.
Yes.
Yeah. So that sort of goes with playing hard to get. I hate texting, and I feel that sometimes I can give off the wrong message, like I'm not interested, because I'll take like 10 hours to respond. Is that okay?
Is that okay?
I mean, I respond 5 seconds before you even texted me.
And I just want to clarify, it's not because I'm trying to play hard to get. It's because I see texting as a way to set up the next date when it comes to someone that I'm interested in, versus having small talk. As I've said 1,000 times, I hate small talk. If it's not a deep conversation, you're not teaching me something, I'm not gaining something from it, I don't want to have it.
So I've actually like have had someone say the same thing. Like, you know, the guy that had told me about being honest, he actually told me that he's not a texter. He hates texting, and he's honestly shocked that he could even text as much as he did with me. But he told me he's a FaceTime kind of guy. Like, he just loves to just get straight to the point, like only FaceTime. And also, it's actually like studies have actually shown that people are more attractive through facial movement. So they find you more attractive via video rather than a photo. So you are more attractive in a video. So that actually is another form of flirtation, by the way, guys. Constantly FaceTime. Yeah, that's going to make you more likable. So
I also read sending voice memos for people who don't like texting. If you don't want to text and you just want to let them know, like, hey, like, I still fuck with you. It took me 10 hours to respond. Here's my voice. I'm still interested.
Hearing someone else's voice too is also more attractive rather than texting. Yeah. Because you don't really get to like necessarily like, you kind of like envision them more if you actually hear their
honestly,
voice.
If I sent a voice memo and a guy sent a voice memo back and I heard their deep, sexy voice, ooh, I would probably...
I mean, for me, I think it's really hot if a guy FaceTimes me and wants to talk to me and spends time. Like, I had someone for like a month. We literally FaceTimed every night, got to know each other really well. Like, that is definitely more meaningful, and you can talk about so much more and on a deeper level than texting.
I've noticed that too, that now I used to be a texter, but now I've realized I don't. I hate that.
You FaceTime a lot to get to know people.
Yeah. I love FaceTiming because, it's just like it's more quality time. You get to like look in their eyes, eye contact.
Yes. I just don't like the way that I look on the phone.
Yeah, well, you have to stop being so hard on yourself. No, like people
besides right now
because
I have pink eye.
But like, for a tip, if you are trying to flirt, I definitely think
recommend
it's
FaceTime.
Even if you're a girl and you see a guy's FaceTiming, you're like, oh, he's FaceTiming me. Like,
yeah.
It definitely is
more meaningful, guys. So that's definitely like for me, it's a huge flirt thing, is constantly FaceTiming you more than I would texting you.
Yeah.
But going back to your issue, like not being a texter, that is really difficult, especially during times like this, when you're not able to see people often because of COVID or the lifestyle that we're living or the traveling, we're meeting people or men
we're
in other states.
We're in a different state like every week.
So it's definitely more difficult.
Most of my relationships or people that I'm talking to are going to be people that I don't see for like a week at a time. And if I don't want to text them, like...
Yeah. But I think ultimately, if a person is interested in you, they're going to let you know they don't like to text, and they're gonna, like, for instance, the guy had said, like, I don't like texting, I'm gonna FaceTime you.
I haven't mentioned to anyone that I don't like to text.
Yeah. Well, maybe you
should. But they didn't ask.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think most grown men aren't big on texting. So.
Yeah. And that's why, oh my God, so that's why I go for older men as well. And I was telling Olivia this. Since my breakup, there has been younger guys that have tried to talk to me, but they're blowing up my phone, trying to have conversations all day. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm busy. I don't want to text you back. I want to read my fucking book. And they just keep messaging, trying to see what I'm doing.
So you're like, I need older, thank you.
And then I end up not being attracted to them anymore, not wanting to go on the date because they just seem like really needy and a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I've noticed in older men, they're more mature, they are more focused on themselves, and they're not trying to figure out what you're doing all day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think some of the don'ts for sure when it comes to flirting is being an aggressive texter. Don't be an aggressive texter. Like, don't accuse someone of doing something when they're not. Like, don't say, like, why didn't you answer? That's a big no-no. And a lot of girls and guys don't know that.
I would never text someone back if they said that and we just started talking. I find that really unattractive, and then I'm scared to like keep talking to you.
But a lot of people don't know that. Like, you have to keep in mind that like we've had more experience with men. A lot of girls that are way younger than us have done this, and I'm a victim of this. Like, I've definitely like have called a guy out by being like, oh, you said you were doing this, but I saw Jenny posting a story and tagging you that you were there. Like, what's up with that? You know, it makes people feel really uncomfortable. So guys, like, don't be an aggressive texter. Don't be a jealous texter. Don't bring up someone's like ex or past. It's a turn off. It's not a turn on for guys. It's not a form of flirting.
There's
and also
a
like just
rule
don't
of thumb going back to mirroring. You should mirror the amount of messages that someone is sending to you in the same format. So if someone sends you a message, now you don't have to be very like specific as I'm saying, but it's more attractive if, say, someone sends you a message with 5 words in it and then they send you a follow-up question right after that to mirror that, like write your sentence almost the same length as theirs and then a follow-up question
that
after that.
That's a true thing.
It's statistically proven that that's more attractive.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say is obviously not everyone's the same. So like read their energy. If someone, because these could be younger than us, like text them a lot. Some girls want to be talked to all day. Like they're bored. They're still in college.
We're just
they're not
talking
doing
about
things.
people like me.
Yeah.
Like
so
texting.
in general though, for anyone, like read their vibes, their energy, and you'll be able to base it off of that. Yeah. If she's taking a while to respond and she's leaving you short messages, don't be sending her 10 paragraphs in a row every 10 minutes. Like, where are you? Where are you? You know?
Oh my God. I think your eye twitched when you did that. So when is the right time to hook up with someone?
Everyone is different.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you have the old school, like 3 days.
Yeah. So everyone says wait at least 3 days.
Yes.
But I sometimes feel that that's even too soon.
It honestly depends on the person.
Depends on the lifestyle, who they are, like,
you are. Like, obviously, the last person I dated, we were, like, dating for a full month and, like, did a lot together, trips together. But we didn't do anything until we were actually boyfriend, girlfriend. But then I've had where I've spent time with guys and I've hung out with them, like, 2 to 3 times. And honestly, that was really nice and lasted longer than, you know.
The connection felt really good. So you were like, why not? It feels right.
Yeah, like you kind of just know. I know couples that have like hooked up on the first date and they were together for years. Yeah. It really just depends on the person. Yeah. Every guy, every girl is very different on what they prefer. Sometimes if I hook up too soon, even if it's just making out, it makes me, I'm like, I'm over it. Like I did it too soon. Like I'm kind of over this now.
Really?
So that could be an issue. So, I mean, just read the vibes that you're having in the connection.
Yeah. I mean, of course, like, you know, it does make you more like desirable and it does make a guy like want you more when you're unattainable or you don't put out so quickly. But of course, like she said, and I definitely agree with this, you know, as I've gotten older, I'm like, fuck the whole like date, like rule thing. It's like, if you're giving off like a fuckboy vibe and I can clearly tell you're not going to want a relationship, I'm just going to like
cut it off.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not even going to waste my time trying to do the whole, well, I'm going to wait like 3 days to like sleep with him so he can maybe get to know me more and like me. It's like, no, like a guy, like I've said before, he's going to put you in two categories. One, a good time or relationship. And if it doesn't matter like how long you waited to sleep with him or if you haven't at all, like in his mind, he already knows what he wants with you. And it's not going to matter how quickly you sleep with him. You know, it's what his intentions are or her intentions are. And ultimately you'll never know that, but just be careful and like just read the room, look at the signs, like who are they as a person? Are they boyfriend material, girlfriend material? Like have they been in relationships, you know?
Yeah, just read the flags. Like if it's a guy that actually seems genuine and wants to date you and you can always tell he's not like fucking around with other girls, then there really is no need to make him wait 2 months for a relationship or I mean, sorry, to have sex or anything like that. But if it's a guy that you go on a first date and he's complaining about the bill, or
Oh
you
my
see him
God.
texting,
I would never.
or
girls
like
are
you see him
following other
commenting
girls,
like, other things like that,
those are red flags.
it's pointless because he's probably hooking up with them as well.
Yeah.
Or someone
or
else.
wanting to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of like going along.
Yeah,
This
you're in the
little
rotation.
This one guy thought he was going to put me in his rotation. Little does he know, I don't really hook up with people unless I feel an extreme emotional connection or we're going to be in a relationship. And we were talking on Instagram or whatever. He slid in my DM and I gave him my number. And then the next day he posts a song on his story called Rotation. And Olivia looks it up and I looked it up
so crazy.
separately. And the lyrics are literally, I just put a famous bitch in my rotation. I was like, you wish, sweetie.
Oh my God. You guys would do that.
I'm like, damn right yourself out. Well, because subconsciously people will post things without even thinking because they're thinking of something, and like you can catch on to that.
I mean, I listen to a lot of like really sappy music sometimes, even if I'm like really happy and not in love, and like heartbreak music. It just depends. But yeah,
But you
sometimes
wouldn't go out of
I'll
your way to
find
like
a
post
song.
it unless you feel that way.
Oh yeah, there's songs that I'm like, I want to post this because I want him to know how I'm feeling, and I'm like, it's
Exactly.
too obvious. I
It's
can't
too
do it. I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. It's like sometimes people do it without even thinking, like, obviously that she was gonna like look at his story
and then look at the
He
lyrics.
wasn't thinking that. Like, yeah.
That's so embarrassing for him. And little does he know he will probably never sleep with me.
Yeah.
She's like, little does he know he probably will never.
I mean, unless he's super intelligent and I mean, I'm just thinking that he's not any of those things, so it's probably never going to happen. We haven't met. We only exchanged a few messages, but just from that, I can tell we're probably never going to sleep with each other.
Yeah.
We all know that I recently got a new apartment in New York, and I know where I'm going to be ordering all my new furniture from, Jenny Kane, because there's no place like home when your home is furnished by Jenny Kane.
And they are like beautiful investment pieces that do last a long time. So they're a very good quality, and obviously, guys, I'm already hogging one of the pillows that we actually
How does that
got.
pillow feel?
Honestly, it feels really, really good, and it's
so soft.
Yeah, you can. I mean, honestly,
Let
guys,
me
like
touch
whenever
it.
you have it, you can really see
my
the
God.
good. Yeah, the quality of it is actually unreal. Like this looks like a high end pillow. Like it looks really, really nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a
Feels
nap.
It feels nice.
Yeah, it feels really nice.
So speaking of the pillow, where's it going? Who gets it?
Well, so in our apartment, we actually have a cream chair, and I do love the fact that the color is cream, like it's like an off-white.
it will
so
match your apartment.
Yeah, it's very like unique, and it's gonna match like my cream chair. So I'm definitely gonna put it there.
I guess I'll let you take this one.
They have more.
So their textiles vary. They have linen, alpaca, and cashmere, and they're all super cozy and nice and go for any room in your house.
Sounds like some high quality fabrics. I, for one, am really excited to furnish my New York apartment with Jenny Kane because it's very California style and I want to bring a piece of California with me. They use lots of neutrals, creams, whites, like the pillow that Olivia had, and high-end fabrics like Alexa mentioned. Find your forever pieces at jennykane.com for 15% at checkout. Make sure you use our code 3G1K at checkout, and that includes furniture for a limited time. That's 15% off your first order at jennykane.com, as in JENNIKAYNE.com. Don't forget to use our promo code 3G1K for 15% off your first order.
All right, so I'm going to go first. And my question is, I don't know if I'm saying it right, so I'm sorry, but Coben Angus, 23. And it's, how can I improve myself to get the girl of my dreams? And I would say just be the best version of you that you can be. Try to learn new things. Try to be physically active. And when you're happy with yourself, the girl of your dreams or whoever will come around. Yeah. But just try to be the most successful, best you and be happy on your own, which I know is like typical and hard to do.
Yeah.
But I swear that's the best thing. Someone else or the girl of your dreams, if you get her and you're not happy and successful in your own life, it won't be, it won't be amazing like what you're expecting. Like you need to be amazing on your own and go out and read a book, go for a jog, go start lifting weights at the gym, just get out there and work more, do whatever you can do to improve yourself. And then when you do get that girl, it will be as amazing as what you thought it would be.
And it'll make you more desirable. Just like, we've had girls, or being the dream girl, it's the same thing for the guy. Like, if you want a dream girl, you have to be a dream guy. So you want to have the same energy as other, like, if you're looking for the dream girl, you want to make sure, like, you love yourself and you're the best version of yourself. You feel successful in your own life. And that's when the dream girl will come to you because she will see that and she will value you and she will notice those things about you.
Okay, I guess I'll go. Should I try to come across as really confident when I talk to girls, or do I just act normal? I don't think you should try to come off as really confident or act normal. I think you should just put the best version of yourself forward. So, yes, if that's a more confident version of yourself, then do that. If it's a better, more well-spoken version of yourself, then do that. Definitely tell them about all your good qualities versus your bad. Definitely tell them about everything that's good and exciting about you, your hobbies and interests. I don't see why you would not want to put your best foot forward. So yeah, be confident, but don't try too hard.
Yeah, sometimes guys are too nervous and they try to portray being confident and it's too cocky, and they're actually ruining the time when they're trying to portray this confident, cocky guy, and they're just kind of like putting you down in a way.
Oh my God.
Some guys can do that.
No, yeah, they'll insult you, and that's their form of flirting. And it's like, no.
And they think that like, oh, I'm a confident, cocky guy. Like, no, I'd rather you be yourself.
Being mean to her is not being confident. If you have to put other people down, that is being insecure, not confident.
Or another thing is like, they would try to showcase like, oh, I have this amount of money, I can do this. Like, don't show us that. Yeah, don't do those things.
Don't name drop. Yeah, don't.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of gross. One time I was at CVS and there was a rapper there, a really famous rapper, and I wouldn't give him my number. He asked me like 5 times, and then he goes, "But I'm so and so. I have 17 million followers." That's what he said to me, and it was the most unattractive thing. So if you're going to try to name drop, show off, that's definitely overdoing it in the confidence department. And why would you want someone to be interested in you for those ulterior motives anyways? So definitely don't do that. Just be the best version of yourself.
Yeah, if you're actually confident in yourself, you don't feel the need to tell people these things.
Yeah, no, I thought it was super weird, and honestly, I made fun of him after with my boyfriend.
But definitely still be confident. Like, you don't want to be shy. Like, I've always said this, and I'll say it again, confidence is sexy. You do want a confident man or a woman, but don't be overbearingly confident where name drop, say how much success you have or who you hang out with or what you do. So definitely don't be too confident, but yes, try to be as confident as you can and be the best version of yourself, because that is sexy and that's a turn on. So I will answer my question, and it's from Adam_Jahari. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I'm so sorry. So they said, what's the best personality trait for guys? So I think everyone's obviously different, but for me, the best personality trait would be your sense of humor. And I think that goes for a lot of ladies. I think that always is like the biggest thing, just because we had actually mentioned it in today's episode that humor is something that people find attractive in others because it's a great way for them to see that you're a quick thinker and that you're very creative. So I would definitely say that humor is something that I look for in guys because I'm a goofball. And it's also just something that you can break the ice easily. There's no tension. It's not awkward. I think just humor is always just good for any situation.
I mean, for me, mine would be like a genuine loving guy, because I'm a genuine loving girl. So how you're more of like a humor joking, like obviously we're all like that. But for me, what makes me attracted to a guy, because it's kind of rare, is a genuine loving guy, not necessarily even just with me, but you can see how he treats his friends, his families.
For me, it's going to be that intellectual with the great vocabulary.
Yes, yeah. We're all different. But combine all 3 of those and
it's like it's game over.
Funny is great too, but if you're stupid and illiterate, I can't.
I agree. I think everyone agrees.
Yeah. But also I like to take it to the next level. Like if you can also teach me something and I mean, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Intellectual, smart, teach me something. Love that for us. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you also head over and check us out on Apple Podcasts, 3 Girls, 1 Kitchen. Subscribe on there. We drop 3 days sooner. Go check us out. If you want an extra dose of 3G1K, make sure that you download the Stereo app and follow us at 3G1K. We go live 3 times a week, giving you extra fan advice and just getting to know you all. So make sure that you download Stereo and follow us.
Bye.